There couldn't be a better time than this to ship applications today because we have got so many AI tools that can help us writing code. You don't need to write any manual code in order to get the application ready, which I'm going to try out in this video. This video is not scripted. I did not run any prompt prior to this video. I did not prepare any PRD in order to get the application. All I'm going to do is test the water to see whether it's possible to have a production ready or at least a basic application ready by giving AI some continuous prompt. So what I'm going to do here, as you can see, I have my empty cursor with the empty project IP details. My basic idea is to build an application where any users can put any IP address and the web app should translate that IP to location and other key details like security or connection type associated with that particular IP address. All I need to do in order to get started is give this AI a simple prompt: build an IP to location web app using, and I'm going to mention the tech stack, React and IPstack API. IPstack API is basically converts any IP to geolocation. The web app should allow users to enter any IP address and it should translate it into the location and display some key details, maybe like security and connection type. I think for the very first prompt, it's okay. It's not the very optimal prompt to be honest, but I think it's good in order to get started. We can keep giving it prompts to make it better. Okay, I think the first app it's running is creating the React app. I don't want it to create a new folder. I just want to create the React app directly in my IP detail folder. So just hit enter. Let's see. So it's installing the React and some necessary dependencies. Oftentimes I get error with Cursor that it's not very optimal picking up the right version of React. And that's why it's always ended up giving me some errors. But let's see if this time it can grab it right. Nope, I can see some errors, but we don't have to worry about. Okay, I think it's because this create React app is not in use anymore. It's deprecated, but let's see if it can fix it. Yes, I can see some code is coming through. That means it is already fixed. I can see it already rewritten the existing React app code to the necessary things, which is good. As soon as it's ready, I think I just need to start the server. One thing which I need to do manually is, I think, adding my IPstack API key here in the .environmental file. For that, I think I just need to head over to ipstack.com, get signed up and obtain my API key from the dashboard, which is here. Of course, I will revoke this after this video, but let's see if I can get it right. Okay, and here I will say access key. And now I will say my IPstack access key is stored in the .env file. Please give me the complete application. Okay. As you can see, I'm giving it very simple prompt without putting much efforts here. Of course, if you want to save tokens and save your bandwidth, you have to do it. It is now fetching the API key from the environmental variable. Mm, okay. I think now it's done. All I need to do is run the command npm start in order to start the application. Okay, I can see my application is running at localhost 3000 but giving me some errors. What is that? Okay, if this is the case, I can simply ask my cursor to resolve this. The current version of application giving this error. Please fix it. I know there's some sort of issues at the root level while installing the React, but not too sure. I don't want to dig deeper into it, to be honest, to do some manual coding here. That's why I'm just giving it some prompts. The missing web editor package has been installed. Okay, I'm not sure. Do I need to restart my server? Not too sure about it, but let's do it. Yeah, I can see the app is up and running. Very basic UI, I would say. Like, The very key thing I have noticed with these AI models and LLM tools out there, they are very good in coding, but not very prime in designing and UI until and unless you feed any Figma file or any random screenshot of web application. But doesn't really matter. For this video, I think my prime goal is to build a functional app instead of putting my focus on UI and UX. So here I just need to enter the IP. Any random IP I can obtain from the IPstack documentation page just to match the data if it is correct. API access key is missing. Okay, some errors while fetching my API key. Let's see what it is. So if I go to app.js file, okay, because here it is fetching from React app access key. So I think I just need to add the React app prefix here in order to get it fixed. And now I think I have changed the environmental file. I just need to restart my server just to make sure I don't end up in any error. So now if I again copy this random ID and paste here in my application, as you can see, the data is actually coming. But this is very basic UI. Of course, you can put it in production and have the application ready. At least it fully functional without any error. But of course, I want to improve some UI. So what I'm going to do for the next step, I'm randomly searching for any web app on the internet, take the screenshot and feed it into my cursor to see if it can replicate the exact design. So let's say IP to location web apps. Let's see what sort of web applications out there. All right, all right. So all the UIs are pretty bad. No offense to these applications on it, to be honest. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so I will go with this one, but it has this map. I can definitely use some sort of map tiles API like position stack and other in order to have this implemented as well. But for now, I think I just need, I think this looks good. I will just copy this image, not in the very high quality, but I think it should work. The application is working, but the UI and design is pretty boring. Can you make it exactly like the design? Oops, if I can spell it right, design shown in the attached image. And I can paste my image here. As you can see, it is already attached. And just run this prompt to see if it gives me something. Okay, it's redesigning. Hopefully it won't break the workflow of this app. Hopefully it will not, but let's see. So right now it's using vanilla CSS, which I have noticed because I did not ask it to use Tailwind or some sort of CSS frameworks. Okay, now it's adding app.css. I'm not sure what changes it make in the app.js file. I think just the style of how the data should render. Drag back and see what changes it made. Now it's adding app.css, which I think gonna take some time because all it's going to do is manual CSS without any framework. Okay, I can see it's done as well. Okay, now I think it's complete. I will again restart the server just for the sake of getting the new version of application. And this is pretty good actually. So right now, again, I will copy this random IP from IPstack documentation and hit enter. IP location. Okay, which is pretty good. This is IPv4 address. The address is this. It's also giving me user agent, which is great. Screen size, I'm not sure I need screen size and stuff. So what I'll do for the next step, I will ask it to include the security module because that's the most crucial part that IPstack provides, I believe. Great. The app looks good. I just want to be polite. That's why I always thanks LLM. The app looks good. Thank you. Can you please also display the security data associated with the particular IP? Okay, let's see if it can able to do it. I can see. So here in the IPstack file, I now restart my server and go back to my application. I can see security data is still not coming, which I know why, because it did not include the optional security parameter here. I think in order to get the security data, you need to enable the security param in the IPstack API URI. Let's see if it is able to pick this up and add the security parameter here. Yeah, it does, which is great. Now I can see the URI is right. It is adding this optional security parameter, and hopefully it will render all the security details in the application as well. So let me again restart. And so now I'm in my application again. And now if I search for this random ID, I can see the security details are coming, which is great. So threat level is very low for this particular IP. So let's try it with some other IP address maybe. I know IPstack has this bulk endpoint where you can convert multiple IPs to geolocation at once. So I will copy another ID from here. And now if I enter here, again the threat level is pretty low, which is great. So I can now getting all the key information linked with this particular IP address. These apps look actually great. The fact that I just gave my AI a couple of prompts, it was able to build a well decent looking application. That means there is a potential that if you keep prompting, or if you can add some code manually, for example, if you want to enable the bulk endpoint here in this application where user can enter multiple IP address at once, then this app would be much more functional and much more robust. So I would definitely recommend you to try this workflow and see if you are also able to build some applications out of it. Yeah, with that being said, I think we have built this application in literally 10 or 15 minutes, which is pretty good. It was not possible a couple of months back, to be honest. I still remember when I was building some sort of use cases for API layer, I had to write 50% of the code at least manually in order to build those products. But now these sort of very small boilerplates or use cases are possible within 10 minutes due to all these AI and LLMs advancements. So yeah, for more such videos, keep following, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one. Bye.